I've made a few videos on this channel about Souls games. It's a genre I still enjoy to this day, more than 16 years later. Now, as of recording this video, Elden Ring Nightreign is about 2 days away from release or so, and I have mixed feelings about what I've seen so far, and the direction FromSoft is going in with at least its next 2 games. See, FromSoft's next games, at least the 2 that we know of, are very different from what they've done in the past. With the Duskbloods being a Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive, it isn't a typical Souls game. That game is a PvPvE game with a sort of like battle royale type of game, or a more apt comparison from what I'm learning is that it's like a typical Souls game with the PvEvP in a heavy emphasis on like Assassin's Creed multiplayer. You know, when you had like you're hunting a player while another player is hunting you, that kind of thing. So it could be interesting, but it's just, again, something when I think of like a Souls-like or a Souls game from FromSoft, this isn't what I'm really wanting out of them, but, it could, cater to some other fans to get them into the genre. So we'll see. Now, while that sounds kind of interesting, it brings me also to Nightreign. This is yet another type of game I just have no real interest in. It's essentially a roguelike, meets Destiny kind of game, meets Elden Ring. Now, I mentioned Duskbloods earlier and how that kind of has a battle royale vibe to it. Nightreign features a shrinking gameplay area, which resets after players defeat the minor boss at the end of each in-game day. The game is also designed around 3 players. I know there's going to be like an update to make it where you can play with, up just to 2 players or solo, if necessary, but at launch the game is clearly designed around playing with a party of 3. Character customization is also, essentially out the window. It's quite limited compared to other Souls games, barring maybe like Sekiro. Now, players choose from 8 predefined characters, each with unique appearances, skills, and playstyles. While there's no character creation per se, players can unlock alternate skins for their chosen character and customize their gear with special relics. Now we've got 8 classes to choose from. We've got Wilder, a balanced warrior with grappling hook attacks, Guardian, a tank with storm-based defenses, Duchess, a stealth assassin with invisibility skills, the Recluse, a mage who drains enemy health, Iron Eye, a sniper who marks enemies for critical hits, Raider, a brute force fighter with earth-based attacks, Executor, a katana duelist with parry-based counters, and Revenant, a spectral warrior who summons spirits. So at least there's a play style like anyone can enjoy, but still a shame we can't essentially make our own. Also, this game isn't open world like Elden Ring was, despite the title. Instead, players fight through procedurally generated areas, so expect minor differences each run, a different boss here, more enemies over there, typical roguelike flair. Now, the good thing, however, is that this is not a live service game, so no loot boxes or microtransactions, just good old post-launch support. Now, however, to me, personally, Nightreign just feels like a glorified mod that, FromSoft is charging us for that would have been like free on like Nexus or something. Will like the normies eat it up like they did Elden Ring? Remember, most people who played Elden Ring, that was their first Souls game because it like blew up in such a popularity, and for many streamers it was their first Souls game as well. So it was kind of like a gateway drug. Now, they're all going to see the Elden Ring title, jump in to play it, and it'll be like a completely different experience. For me personally, I'm either going to skip it entirely or wait till it's on a sale. Roguelikes don't really interest me all that much, with the exception of maybe Hades, but that game was like, it's in a league of its own in my eyes. So what do you guys think? Does Nightreign interest you at all if you're just a fan of the traditional Souls game experiences? Or are you willing to give it a try on account of this is still being made by FromSoft and the goodwill that they have? Let me know down below if you're going to pick it up, or not, and why. This is just a kind of short thoughts video. I've been mad busy. But hopefully my schedule opens up and I'll make some longer, more impactful videos or whatever at that point. So until then, my friends, talk to you next time.